And what's supposed to happen?
It's already happening. The
So-
preparatory and implementations underway. It
What
hopes
are they going to do?
it would provide early warning information system among others.
And
of
it's
course,
going to take 7 years. Ang dami nang namatay.
It's-
Ang dami nang nabaha. Parang, ang bagal naman natin mag-react. 7 taon. Ilan pa ang maaanod? Ilan pa lulubog? Wala lang. Okay. Adaptation Fund. Is there anything that can be reported about the Adaptation Fund?
None at this point, Madam Chair.
Okay.
The Philippines has yet to directly access the fund.
Why is it taking so long? Why is it taking so long?
The focal agency for this, Madam Chair, is DENR. Will coordinate
So
with them
what's
on
the
this
role
particular.
of your commission?
We
Aren't you more appropriately abolished and then located in the DENR? Kasi hindi ko naintindihan eh. Di ba nagra-right sizing ang gobyerno? Di ba obvious na kailangan ninyo DENR na lang?
there's that's one position, but there's also the position, Madam Chair, that the Climate Change Commission has to remain as it is.
Why?
While it's still
Why?
a relatively young agency, there are cross-cutting issues that ideally under the RA 9729 can be better addressed by a commission po.
Why?
There are
Your
some.
performance wouldn't prove that.
I apologize for
No,
that,
I'm not.
Madam Chair.
I'm not accusing you, and you're only new in any case. But there are clearly issues with the organizational structure because you can't
Yes,
get
ma'am.
anything done.
Yes, Madam Chair. In fact, this is one of the.
So that's my point. Aren't you better subsumed under a proper departmental structure than attempting to stand alone and not getting very much done?
Madam Chair, if I may, this is one of the findings of COA
There we
on
go.
organizational reform. And in fact, we at the Commission, this particular cohort of commissioners, are working hard on the reforms that are needed and to make
Well,
sure
you know
that.
very well, coordination is a very, very bad word in government. It means you have absolutely no power, no budget, and very, very little staff. So there you go. All you do is coordinate. Parang NDRRMC yan. Hindi nakaka-respond kasi nga coordinating body lang sila.
Policy formulating.
Eh wala
and
naman
coordinating.
susunod sa kanila. Kaya nga, the move is for NDRRMC to become a FEMA or some kind of agency.
Agency, yes.
At hindi na siya coordinating, liaising, and so on. Eh kayo rin.
Yes, Madam Chair. And we would have to say that based on RA 9729, that really is the mandate of the Climate Change Commission.
is
Policy
the
formulating
mandate?
and policy formulation and coordination.
Eh, kaya nga, that's the same problem we have in all these agencies. Yung mga early learning, policy formulation and coordination, ang ibig sabihin, walang mangyayari. Yan na nga ang problema dyan eh. Okay, anyway, andito yung mga COA findings ninyo, the usual. Okay. Ano ba to? Yeah, can you tell me about climate change expenditure tagging? Ano yun?
Sorry, Madam Chair. Climate change expenditure tagging is a program between the Climate Change Commission, the Department of Budget and Management also, and this aims to tag the climate change related projects of our different agencies.
Kaya nga, which underlies the fact that you're a mere coordinating body. You just tag, di ba?
Yeah, we understand that, Madam Chair.
Kaya
In fact,
nga
we
that's why how much can you get done? So what's the advantage of tagging aside from aside from pogi points na meron tayong climate change projects?
we acknowledge this shortcoming, Madam Chair, and that's why we're
Yes,
working.
but the point is, you're not supposed to apologize or say sorry. What we need to do is to change the law in some way, retool the organization, re-engineer everything, because it's not working. Apology is not what is required. What is required here is for you, in aid of legislation, to make recommendations, because it's simply not working.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are working on that. We
So
are
you should
aware of.
actually go to some department that actually does the work, like DENR. So who sets the standards for this tagging?
The tagging is jointly come up with by both CCC and the Department of Budget
By
and
who?
Management.
Sorry?
CCC and DBM, Madam Chair. There's that typology that has been
Sorry. ECC or CCC?
CCC.
You.
CCC
So it's you
and
and
DBM.
who decides what are the guidelines for that?
This was through a joint memorandum circular, Madam Chair, between DBM, CCC, and also a joint memorandum circular from DBM, CCC, and DILG.
DILG?
This is for tracking of climate programs by the LGUs, Madam Chair.
Mas lalong wala silang alam dyan. Yung pulis nga, hindi masikaso, yan pa.
Again, Madam Chair, if I may, reference to stronger data governance and
Who? Sorry?
CCC and DBM, Madam Chair. There's that typology that has been
Sorry. ECC or CCC?
CCC.
You.
CCC,
So it's you
and
and
DBM.
who decides what are the guidelines for that?
This was through a joint memorandum circular, Madam Chair, between DBM, CCC, and also a joint memorandum circular from DBM, CCC, and DILG.
DILG?
This is for tracking of climate programs by the LGUs, Madam Chair.
Mas lalong wala silang alam dyan. Yung pulis nga, hindi masikaso, yan pa.
Again, Madam Chair, if I may, reference to stronger data governance and stronger data analytics. This is why this is a
How many
priority
employees
for
do you have?
climate. Right now, we are 80. Sorry. Right now, we have 62 plantilla out of 76, Madam Chair, and then 65 COS. This
Yeah,
partly also explains.
it's a very, very small office.
It's a
kaya
very, very
nga.
small office,
No,
Madam.
kaya nga, that's why dapat magpaampun na lang
With
kayo
the-
kaysa ganito. Anyway, what's the process for this tagging, and what happens when you're tagged? And what are the guidelines? I'm asking on behalf of the LGUs. You mentioned the LG. The LGUs are completely confused by this effort.
CCT, Madam Chair, again, is a joint policy framework of the DBM, CCC, and the LG. It's supposed to monitor and mainstream climate change.
Can you just respond to the question? What are the standards being utilized? What are the guidelines? How do you become tagged?
For this, Madam Chair, we have
What are the guidelines? Just
the
answer, ano yung guidelines?
we have the CCET Decision Tree and the National CCET Typology Code Manual, which is used to
Can
identify.
we use human being, normal, mortal language?
Sorry, Madam Chair, this is the language that we have. But
It's
essentially,
not something I or the LGUs understand. You have to decode. This jargon's not helping us,
yes, Madam Chair.
even less impressing us.
In essence, first, the question is asked: does the main objective, or one of the
Does
main
it have
objectives,
to be a main objective or a...
or one of the main objectives, Madam Chair? There's a decision tree again for this. Does it articulate climate change adaptation or mitigation? If it's yes, then it's entered
What
as.
happens once it's tagged? Maybe you can just give me the simple standards outline.
It's ideally, Madam Chair, it's supposed to inform policy decision among the different oversight agencies. Once all of these data are
Sorry, if you're an
collected.
LGU, can we just make it really simple? If you're an LGU, you have a climate change project which is tagged. What happens next? Do I get punished? Do I get money?
No, Madam Chair. If you have
What happens?
if
So
you have the
you tag the
CCET,
project somewhere.
if you have the
Or what can the
CCET,
mayor count on?
if you have the CCET, it also goes into the process of LCCAP,
Of
and
what?
this local climate change action plan,
Yeah,
Madam Chair.
so,
And if you
no,
do
in nuts and bolts, in pesos and centavos, what advantage do I get?
if you have that, then this would be several steps closer for you to access also the People Survival Fund.
Ay nako, kasasabi lang natin na yung People Survival Fund 2016, wala pang ibinubuga.
Yes, Madam Chair, but perhaps
So there's no clear advantage to the LGU. It's just an unnecessary feather in their cap to be tagged.
Madam Chair, perhaps if you look at it at the point of view of accessing again PSF, then there is
Pero sabi
value
mo
to that. But
several steps.
it's part of the documentary requirements, kasi, ma'am. And the function and what we need to do at CCC and with other government agencies is to further strengthen that capacity so it becomes not a burden, but in fact,
So do you have a list now? Do you have a directory of all these tagged
we have,
projects? and
we have,
all?
Madam Chair.
Ilan na? Nakailan na sa directory?
One moment, Madam Chair. For LGUs.
Commissioner Rachel, would you like to answer? Or anybody who likes to answer, I need to get on with it. This is taking so long. Commissioner De La Cruz.
Yes, Madam, if I may. The budget tagging for local government unit will provide what we call the net zero by 2050 pathway, whether or not.
You know, this jargon's really not helping your cause.
Yes,
Just
ma'am.
tell me, what are the standards, what are the advantages, and give me a number, how many have you tagged? That's all.
Insofar as the local government unit, Madam, were able to make the necessary communications, training programs
May I
with
have a
around
number?
87%, ma'am.
May I have a number
87% of the local government units were able to submit all the necessary documents for
So
them.
how many projects have you tagged as part of this CCET? I'm sorry, it's a budget hearing. It's just nuts and bolts. I need a number. How many projects have you tagged? If you don't have it, let's not waste time. Let's just proceed to the next 100 questions.
I will provide the details, Madam Chair, on this for LGUs as well as for national government agencies.
Can you tell me the number of projects? Kala ko you're tagging. How come you don't know how many you tagged? Anyway, napapagod na ako. Okay. So, let's go back to the People Survival Fund, since that seems to be the end-all and be-all of all these tagging. You've approved, according to you, 13 projects, 6 project development grants to a total of 19 LGUs. Out of the 1.3 billion earmark, 23.44%, or 306 million, has been disbursed. Can we be clarified on the actual amount of the People Survival Fund as defined under law, as we speak today?
Madam Chair, we'd like to defer to the Department of Finance.
Sige.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The figure, as the Chair has mentioned, is as of date. That's the disbursed amount. Now, the disbursements will follow the work and financial plan based on the agreed tranching.
I
And
just need a number. What's the actual amount of the People's Survival Fund
The-
now?
actual amount as disbursed, Chair, is the 306, as you mentioned. So it's confirmed, Chair.
No, what's the whole body of the fund? You're talking only about the amount disbursed. O magkano yung entire universe of the PSF? How much is the fund?
The
Kung
entire approved
306 ang disbursed, magkano pang natitirang hindi disbursed?
that's roughly 1 billion.
Ha?
1 billion po. Because
Okay nga.
the approved grant amount or the amount for pre-SF financing is 1.3 billion.
Kaya nga.
Yes. So that's the
right
whole universe.
now, you have just short of 1 billion still pending.
For releases lang po yun, Chair.
Oh, kaya nga.
Yes,
So,
sir.
because the total fund is 1.3, di ba?
Yes, Chair.
O kaya nga. So, what are the steps being undertaken to address this